all you out there in YouTube land, this is TransRANTS, and I am here with another one of my little opinion analysis thingy-jiggy. I still haven't come to the regular title for that one yet. Sue me! So, what I'm here to talk to you about, besides plugging my latest Go See My Green Ranger video, is Amazing Spider-Man. And that it will make a triumphant return as part of Marvel's Phase 2 of Marvel Now. And with that said, I am not surprised. Not one bit. Why? Because it's Amazing Spider-Man. Marvel Comics' flagship title since 1963. 2. It's Amazing Spider-Man, Marvel's flagship title from 1963. One of the longest continuing comic book series ever. And number 3, new movie. New movie says it all. Once you have a new movie out, it's pretty much that movie is an advertisement. You want people to come out of that movie and say, wow, this is a comic book? I need to get out and start buying Amazing Spider-Man. Now what happens when that kid comes into a comic book store, if it ever happens? But it does, you know. I pretty much live inside of a comic book shop sometimes. But what happens when you go into a comic book shop and you see something called the Superior Spider-Man? Looks nothing like the one that's on the screen. And you start thumbing through it, and you're like, who is this guy that's impersonating Peter Parker, but not Peter Parker? What is this trash? They drop it and they walk away. You can't have that. No. To effectively sell that movie, or to effectively sell any comic book series that inspire the movie, you have to have the genuine article back. You have to have them in the red and blues. Simply put, you have to have Amazing Spider-Man. And now thinking about it, the story is kind of generic. It has been done before. Let's see. Something tragic happens to the original hero. The imposter, or so to speak, goes out, claims himself to be a more superior version of that hero. Does things to the well extreme. Alters the costume so it's almost unrecognizable. Turns it into almost a living weapon as well. And then, after a brief period, that person, the original, comes back. However he came back, he just comes back. Fights the imposter. And then defeats him, reclaiming the title, putting on the original outfit, and the status quo has once again resumed. Where have we seen that before? Where have we seen that one before? Could it be Batman? Would have worked better with a zoom. Oh well, it's done. Yeah, Batman Nightfall. That's another reason why I didn't think that Superior Spider-Man was ever going to be the status quo, because there's nothing to say that it was ever the status quo. You have a hero broken by Bane, in a wheelchair, has a successor, Jean-Paul Valley. Guy claims the mantle of the Bat, is awarded the mantle of the Bat, I should say. Redesigns the costume until it's pretty much unrecognizable, a living weapon. But due to his own neurosis, and I guess schizophrenia, I guess it goes the same with neurosis, hunts down and actually, brutalizes some of these criminals, even petty thugs, to the point that everyone's afraid of him, and he unknowingly kills. No, I think he knew that person was going to die. Well, anyway, he kills him. And then he lets a victim die, it was just a mess. So when Bruce Wayne had his back healed by magic, when he had his back healed by magic, you know, he came back to Gotham, was like, well, looks like things are things are looking up. And Robin tells him, dude, he killed people. That's not what Batman does. Trains himself back to his peak physical condition, puts on the costume, beats the living crap out of Jean-Paul Valley, lets him see the light, literally, that he done wrong, and takes back the mantle of the Batman. Now, I'm not saying that they relaunched Batman after that. No, they just kept on, you know, trucking on. I don't think they ever thought of doing a relaunch back then. They probably would have if they tried. If they ever thought about it, they probably would have. But that's probably what I see with Amazing Spider-Man. Either Peter is going to break out of that subconscious, you know, dungeon and fight on the mental plane with Octavius again, and, you know, win. And the Octavius, you know, personality will just be gone. Or they'll do some sort of like mind transfer, or because they never did find Doc Ock's actual body, maybe they'll resurrect the actual body, or put the brain in a clone, and then Peter as Dr. Octavius would fight Superior Spider-Man. It's sounding way too convoluted, but somehow they're going to have a battle which will bring back Peter Parker. And it will lead into the new #1, Amazing Spider-Man #1. And I can't be more excited. I love Spider-Man, and even though I feel that #1 issues, from a marketing standpoint, they're great, because #1s, besides anniversary issues, #1s always sell better. That's just how it is. But it makes it a little hard looking for back issues. You know, Amazing Spider-Man went from 1 to 441, and then all of a sudden it was relaunched 1 through 58, before it went back to the original numbering at 500, and 500 to 700. And then of course you got all them stupid point numbers, point ones. So yeah, Amazing Spider-Man #1, it'll probably go maybe for like another 100 issues, 6 or 8 years, and then it'll probably go back to the original numbering, because they have to sell Amazing Spider-Man number 800. And that's really, you know, Marvel's way of thinking. You know, sell the #1s, but then once we get close to that big milestone issue, 800. You know, back to the original numbering. They did it with Daredevil, Journey into Mystery. Still don't know how they did that one. Captain America, Fantastic Four. They did it with a lot of their titles. And then of course they all relaunched. But yeah, look for the new Amazing Spider-Man. Should be in stores at let's see. They say March to April 2014. So probably around March, maybe April, we'll get Amazing Spider-Man #1. Written by Dan Slott and illustrated by Humberto Ramos, which I never really did care for his artwork. Little too blocky. Like he's trying to be like Steve Ditko, but it's just a little too blocky. I mean, he's alright, I guess, but, you know, for a #1 issue, I think can't think of his name right now. But the guy who illustrated the Lizard story, or the guy who illustrated the Goblin arc. But, you know, Humberto Ramos, you know, he works alright. So, that's my thoughts on Amazing Spider-Man. Do you have any thoughts on Amazing Spider-Man? Remember, comment section are below. You could always hit me up, personal messages through YouTube. I may not respond to them, but, you know, they are there. And, if you like this video, please, of course, subscribe, do all that wonderful stuff, and I'll see you all later.